Hello everyone, welcome back. Here is the most real before of me ever, what I look like on a daily almost. And I'm going straight in with my Elmer's glue and a spoolie, and I'm just going to go ahead and get this look on the left where it's a little bit more laid down and tamed. So what I like to do is just brush my spoolie across the top of the glue a few times just to get some buildup like so. And then I go throughout my entire brow, brushing the product through, but not really pressing too much. And then I'll start pressing the product into my skin. And then as for like the purple color, don't worry about that because it does disappear. And then I would recommend letting your brow completely dry and get tacky before cleaning up the areas around it, even though you do want to make sure that you do that always. And then once you're done brushing all your hairs up, you want to just drag your spoolie or brush across the top and just create that final shape of your brow that you want. Leaving them brushed up gives you more of a feathered look, but I like to give my brow more of an actual shape to it. And now I'm going to go in with my P. Louise base and just prime my lids. This is the shade Rumor number 2. And I'm going to go ahead and just buff it into my lid using a beauty blender. Now I'm going in with my Stacey Marie Carnival XL Pro palette, and I'm just going to go ahead and use that dark brown right there to create this little dome shape. Now I'm going to go ahead and use a fluffier brush to just buff around the edges of what I just applied. I'm not dipping into any product when I do this. I'm just using a clean brush. And then lastly, I went in on top of all of that with a lighter brown. And then I'm going to clean up the cut crease area with some Vaseline and Q-tips. And what you want to do with this is just manipulate the Vaseline before wiping anything into the entire area that you want to remove. And then you're going to flip sides using the clean side of the Q-tip and just wipe everything off. A lot of people try to remove it in like one swipe with Vaseline on the Q-tip, and it doesn't work. Like, it's just going to remove wherever you wipe, and it's going to be super hard to clean up. So what I like to do is just pull my skin so it's tight and not wiping areas I don't want to be wiped, and then that's it. I do make sure that the Vaseline is cleaned off completely before applying any concealer though, so you want to just go over that area with a couple of clean Q-tips before applying anything. And then once I was ready to cut the crease, I did notice that one side was darker than the other, so I just went ahead with a little smudger brush and deepened up that cut crease area that I was about to work with before I started. And now for cut creases, I would recommend you work with a super flat brush that you can build a lot of product up onto, because I've learned over the years of messing up and failing cut creases completely that the easiest way to do it, honestly, is just to build up so much product that you can literally drag your brush wherever you want your cut crease. And then once you're done doing that, you kind of want to just clean your brush off and then buff all of that concealer that's already on your eye and primer that's already on your eye downwards onto the lid. And now once you're done, you can go ahead and set your lid with whatever color you're working with. Now I'm going to go in with Shein's Epic Liner in the shade Orchid, which is like a little cute lavender moment. And I'm just going to go across the entire cut crease of what I just did. And this glitter I sadly do not have a name for or company for, but it's a white glitter with a purple undertone when it reflects in the light. I don't know which company, but I've had this in my kit forever, and it's such a pretty glitter. And it's so sad, but my camera did not really capture how pretty it is in person. But here's a little bit of a closer look at it so you can kind of see the reflective of it. It's such a pretty glitter. Now we can go ahead and start our face with our Cover FX Gripping Primer and our L'Oreal Infallible Foundation in the shade 455. I've been loving this foundation. I talk about it in all my videos. yeah, so I'm just gonna go ahead and apply this all over my face. And I do sometimes like to let my foundation set for like a minute or two before moving on, just to like, buff it in completely and make sure it's all the way in place and everything that needs to be covered is covered. Now I'm going to go in with my Bare Minerals Stick Foundation in the shade Sienna, and I'm just going to go ahead and apply it in my contour areas, which is by my eye, my cheeks, my nose, and my chin. Now I'm going to go in with my 16-hour Camo Concealer from e.l.f. in the shade Bare Warm, and I'm going to focus on the area underneath my eyes before I drag it outwards towards my hairline, just to give it that lifted effect. And then once I'm done completely working this into my skin, I do have a sponge ready with powder nearby so that I can set this right away so that it doesn't give it time to crease or any type of buildup. Like I've mentioned before, I do like to do the first round completely pressed into my skin, and then if I do choose to put any powder on top and let it sit, I do that last after I've already pressed everything in and I've made all the areas that I want matte completely matte. Now I'm going to go in with my NYX contour palette and just start contouring in the areas that I applied the liquid contour earlier in the video. And doing this is just going to ensure that it stays in place all day. I noticed that I do prefer doing both methods at the same time rather than one or the other, liquid or powder. I like doing both just because I noticed that it gives most of the pigment and it makes it last 100% longer than what I'm used to when I would just do powder or just do liquid. Now, somehow I did lose footage of the Note Cosmetics blush, but this is the Note Cosmetics blush in the shade Desert Rose. Right now, I wasn't a blush person before, like I always mention, but if you are also not a blush person, I would highly recommend that you try different shades of blush rather than just your average pink blush that everybody would recommend. If you say you want a blush, try an orange one, try different colors, salmon, and see what you like. Now I'm going to go ahead and prime my under eye with this Vivid Violet Peel Aways base. And this is just to get that super good pigment of the purple that I'm going to be applying. And what I'm going to do is first go in light to dark. So after I'm done applying this base like so with a fluffy brush, I'm going to go in with a bright purple rather than a dark one first, because I do want to make sure the under eye is bright. Now I'm going to go in with the NYX Faux Whites in the shade Lavender Blush. And I'm just going to go ahead and put this on my whole waterline. The reason why I'm doing this before I apply the dark eyeshadow that's going to line my bottom lash line is because you can see it kind of transfers onto your lashes. But lastly, we're going to go in with that dark purple and just go super, super, super close to your lash line on the bottom. The reason why I say super close is because you do want to be able to see that purple that's underneath it. Super weird timing for nose contour, but I almost completely forgot about my contour on my nose. So I'm going in with that NYX contour palette from earlier in the video. Using the two lighter shades mixed together, I'm going to go ahead and highlight the tip and the bridge of my nose. And then I'm going to go in with the contour shades. I'm going to do the tip of my nose and the sides of my nose. And I do like to do that middle part where those bridge and the tip of my nose are not meeting. I do a little bit of some like circular motions that I just recently started doing, just because I do add the tip and the bridge again like so. So it doesn't really matter if it gets on top. And then lastly, I like to just bake the sides of my nose just to get it that extra snatched effect. I do see a big difference when I do this, but it also depends on how long you let it bake. Now I'm going to go in with my lashes from Queen Cosmetics, or Queen Beauty World is their ad, and this is the style the Muse. First I'm going to go ahead and line my lash line with my green duo glue, and then I'm just going to let that set and get tacky. Now once your glue is tacky, you should be able to place your lash directly on top of it and it not budge or even have a problem sticking at all. And I'm able to do literally both of my lashes in less than probably 30 seconds if I didn't pinch all of my lashes together. Now for lips, I'm going to be using number 8 from Queen Cosmetics for the lip liner, and of course Blossom Friend for the lipstick. And for this lip liner, this is from Queen Cosmetics. I have nothing but good things to say about this lip liner. I use a bunch of lip liners all the time, but this is definitely going to be one of my everyday ones just because of how creamy it is, and of course the shade is just so pretty, and it's definitely something that I would pick for a go-to. And that's about it, you guys. I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope you like the look even more. And if you are interested in ever seeing any pictures or any more content from me at all, check out my other social media platforms that are at the end of this video. But in case you're interested, I am on TikTok, Instagram, and on Twitter. Not as active on Twitter, but to be continued. Yeah, thank you for everyone who got this far, and I will see everybody next week. Bye.